Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're tuned in, you already know how crucial the upcoming moves are for the Washington Commanders. The NFC East has been fiercely competitive in recent seasons, and with the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants all making bold moves, the Commanders are looking to stay relevant, to stay competitive, and to finally make that leap into the postseason again. But one thing that's really been on the minds of fans and analysts alike is the situation around Terry McLaurin. He's been a cornerstone for this franchise, a true star wide receiver, a guy who's been putting up solid numbers and leading the charge on offense. Yet there's this looming question about his future, and it has everyone wondering, what's next for McLaurin and how do the Commanders plan to adapt if he's no longer in the picture? In the NFL, especially in these unpredictable times, teams have to take calculated risks, make bold moves, and sometimes look outside their comfort zone. And that brings us to the intriguing possibility that the Commanders might be eyeing a new weapon, a player who could potentially fill the void left by McLaurin if he moves on or if the team decides to shake things up. That player is Treylon Burks, a young wide receiver who, despite a somewhat rocky start to his career, still holds a ton of promise. Burks was drafted by the Tennessee Titans in the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft, a pick that initially generated a lot of buzz. Coming out of Arkansas, Burks was seen as a potential game-changer, a big-bodied receiver with the ability to make contested catches and stretch the field. At Arkansas, he racked up impressive stats, over 100 yards and 11 touchdowns as a junior, and many scouts believed he could develop into a true number one receiver in the NFL. But as we all know, the transition from college to the pros isn't always smooth, and Burks has faced his share of struggles. The Titans, in a bit of a surprising move, decided to part ways with him recently, after just 3 seasons and 27 games played. The limited number of starts, 17 in total, and his injuries have hampered his development, making it clear that he hasn't quite lived up to the lofty expectations set for him early on. One of the most recent setbacks was a broken collarbone he suffered this offseason, an injury that sidelined him and contributed to the Titans' decision to release him. Now, this is where the story gets interesting for Washington fans. Because despite the rocky start, Burks is still just 25 years old, and players like him, with his size and athletic traits, are still worth taking a shot on. Imagine this: the Commanders, smartly, see the potential in Burks, especially considering their current wide receiver group. Outside of Terry McLaurin, there isn't a ton of proven depth, and that's been a sticking point for the offense in recent seasons. Noah Brown, Jahan Dotson, and Deebo Samuel are solid options, but they're not exactly the kind of players you want to count on to carry the entire passing game. The team needs a reliable, physical X-receiver, someone who can win contested catches, block well downfield, and be a red zone threat. And at 6'2" and 225 pounds, Treylon Burks fits that profile perfectly. Now, let's be real here, it's unlikely that Burks will come in right away and be the star the moment he steps on the field. The injury recovery, the adjustment to a new team, and the learning curve all play a role. But the long-term upside is significant. The Commanders, in my opinion, should see this as a low-risk, high-reward opportunity. You fill the bottom of your roster with guys like Burks, who have traits and physical tools that can be developed into something special, rather than relying solely on proven commodities who may be past their prime or have limited upside. This move, if it happens, wouldn't be a blockbuster signing. It's more about strategic depth, about adding a player with potential that could flourish under the right system. The scheme that Washington has been building under their coaching staff is designed to maximize the talents of versatile receivers, and Burks' skill set aligns well with that vision. He's not just a deep threat, he's also a willing blocker, a red zone target, and a player with the size to win contested catches. With the right coaching and some development, Burks could evolve into a reliable weapon for quarterback Sam Howell, giving the offense a new dimension and forcing defenses to account for him along with McLaurin and the others. Of course, everything hinges on the front office's willingness to give him that shot. The NFL is a league of opportunity, and sometimes, a change of scenery is all a player needs to turn his career around. Burks' recent injury history is a concern, no doubt, but every team has to weigh the risk against the potential reward. For Washington, especially with the uncertainty around McLaurin's future, adding a young player like Burks makes a lot of sense. It's about building for the long term, about creating a roster that's versatile and capable of adapting to whatever challenges come their way. Looking ahead to the 2025 season, Burks might not be a major contributor right from the start. The team will likely want to see how he recovers, how he adapts to their playbook, and how he performs in camp and preseason. But the potential is there. The physical tools, the traits, and the youth all point towards a player who could develop into a key piece of the offense in the future. And that's what the Commanders need to focus on: building depth, developing talent, and preparing for a run that could finally get them back into the playoffs consistently, and who knows, maybe even beyond. This is the kind of move that could quietly become a game changer. It's not about a flashy signing, but about making smart, strategic decisions that could pay off big down the line. The NFL is all about those small, calculated moves that set the foundation for future success. And for the Washington Commanders, signing Treylon Burks in free agency could be that move. It's a story of hope, potential, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. And I, for one, am excited to see how this unfolds, whether it materializes or not. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you guys think? Do you see the potential in Burks? Can he be the guy to help the Commanders take that next step? Or do you believe that they should look elsewhere in free agency or the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion really matters to us and to the future of this team. These are exciting times for Washington fans, and I'll be right here, keeping you updated on every twist and turn. Remember, this isn't just a team, it's a family, and every move counts. So stay tuned because I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and more news about the Washington Commanders. Thanks for watching, and let's keep the passion alive.